Hello everyone and welcome back to Quear. My name is Jesse and I am my special guest today.
Yes, he is!
I am a 21-year-old androgynous boy living in Vancouver, and I am so pleasured and so happy to be able to share my story with everyone today.
Bam, you got it. Welcome, Jesse!
Thank you.
On today's episode, we are gonna explore demisexuality with Jesse and what that means to him. He also talks to us about his first time being with a guy and creating that first connection where he came back with confidence to talk to his friends about it. So you don't wanna miss it. It's super educational. I can't wait to share it with you guys. Let's buckle our seatbelts because it's gonna be juicy and dive in. This is like, one unapologetic human being right here.
We can.
First of all, I love that you identify yourself as an androgynous. I love that you identify as an androgynous boy. I think it's a term in this day and age that we haven't really been exposed to a lot. No one really identifies as that. No. So like, I love that you're bringing that back in.
I prefer to just say alien, sometimes, because, we're just living our life doing the latest things, but androgynous is
both
definitely the word for it.
Yeah. Let's dive into your story from the get-go. So you were born in Haiti.
Absolutely.
And you were adopted by a family from Vancouver.
Yeah.
Okay, talk to us about your family dynamic and what that was like.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was adopted when I was 4 months old, thankfully from Haiti. Unfortunately, due to birth complications, my biological mother had passed away after I was born.
Sorry.
No worries. I was blessed to be adopted by a Canadian family where I was brought back to Chilliwack.
Yeah.
And
small town.
Very small town.
Very hick too, no?
A bit, yeah. Thankfully there, I have had a mom and a dad who have blessed me with a very, very wonderful upbringing. My mom and my dad's family friends actually adopted a couple of kids from Haiti as well. They're like the same age as my brother and I, so we grew up together quite a bit. So I did have some resemblance of kids there that were alike with me.
Yeah.
But otherwise, growing up through school, basically like the only black kid in all my classes, and it was the same thing for my brother as well.
Did you experience any racism?
A little bit, but nothing too heavy, and it was just kind of like a learning curve that I was going to have to go through in my life anyways.
Yeah.
So while younger, I already have the wounds that are not going to hurt me when I'm older. Good to have gone through it then. Right? Exactly.
In for the fight. Sexuality-wise, how do you identify?
I would say identify as a demisexual.
Okay.
Meaning, I feel like I fall in love with whoever I vibe with, rather than sexual attraction or him or her. It's more how we get along, how we can grow together, how you think and how I think, and just how we connect.
Yeah, creating that deep emotional attraction before getting into any like serious relationship with the person.
Absolutely.
Okay, I love that. How did you discover that you were demisexual?
Honestly, I feel like it was something that I always struggled with. I never felt like I wanted to put a gender on who I liked or who I had to like or to label anything. I don't even really label myself now except for saying that I'm demisexual because it's pretty open to everything, I would say. As a kid, I always felt like what's wrong with liking both boys and girls because I thought everyone was cool. I would say discovering that really happened more towards middle school, high school, where it was like people were dating and I was like, like I like him, I like her, but like who I connect better with or who seems like a better person or how do I get along with this person?
Like how did you discover what demisexual was? Because I never knew what demisexual was or was ever introduced to the word until I met you.
Mm-hmm. I always felt like there's something different when like I was talking to my friends. Mm-hmm. Everybody would have more of a sexual attraction to someone to start a relationship and would start things that way versus going on more dates and spending more time with them versus more time in bed with them. And not that that's a bad thing, but I feel like you don't connect with the person the same to figure out what sort of stresses that you can push on each other, that you are going to push on each other, rather than just having that rush of euphoria and whatever from having sex, and you don't think about the bad things that there really are. Once I was realizing I was definitely on a different mindset than everyone else, I was like, what is this? Like, why do I feel like I need to like have like so much of a connection with someone or understand so much more before jumping to anything sexual? When I did jump that way first or ever tried that, it never felt right. It almost felt dirty. I felt like I was going home and I really regretted things. They just like took a piece of me and like don't even know anything about me, and I don't know exactly what that means. It's just the way I felt.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm glad that I know about myself now, not to push myself in that direction, because it's not something I'm comfortable with.
That's really great awareness, and I can completely empathize with the way that you felt in those moments of just like, this doesn't feel good. Like, one-night stands are not great, and you're like, I need to seek something a little bit more deeper and like grounding for me, and I want that person to get to know me, but you also want to get to know the person too, because that's how unhealthy relationships start.
Definitely. When you realize that you pull back a little bit more, it kind of makes me understand that it is like on the spectrum of almost asexual, where it's 100%. Like, you really don't push yourself to have sexual interactions or super love physical reactions with people until you really, really get that connection, and that can be asexual or celibate for a long period of time. That's
why I was reading it. I was reading that like a lot of the times demisexuals can feel quite lonely because not many people are aware of the demisexual term. So when you're like trying to meet a new person or get to know them and you explain to them that you're demisexual, you can be celibate or you can be like non-sexual for a while, and people just don't get that. Have you had a hard time connecting with people that you've tried to go on dates with about demisexuality?
100%, because it almost seems like in this generation it's the notion where you can go out for dinner and then you go back to their house, and that's just like not something I am interested in, and that can always be sometimes like a little bit of a blocker, because sometimes they think that's just like a time for like a connection, more time to grow. Totally. As for dating, it has been really hard. I find that a lot of people don't know about demisexuality, where you need a connection, you go by the vibe with the person, so you want to spend more time with them and like really get to know them, like with fun activities and like dates and just stuff to like, I don't know, you gotta test like people's levels, you know, to see like what you can withstand with someone else, rather than just like 100%. Jumping in a relationship and only having sex and thinking that like you can get through every argument. That's not right. Quite how things are gonna work.
Yike.
Dating has been really hard. I haven't found many people that know about it. I haven't found many people that are also demisexual, but I feel like in society and in our brains, it's truly engraved in everyone that like you can fall for anyone almost, depending on how you can connect and vibe with that person. So I feel like it would be awesome if it was more open and explored more. I do feel like a lot of people could relate to this more than they know.
100%. I completely agree. Now, we live in an over-sexualized world where there is so much hooking up and there is so much one-night stands or people that have those expectations, especially when they go out or you're meeting someone on an app. How do you navigate that?
That's a good question. Well, I've had to definitely pull myself back a lot out of being anything too aggressive or too sexual in that sort of open scene, just because I feel like, one, it can be dangerous and degrading, and people don't really like think about you or what you're in it for. You can have all these sort of reservations and be honest with someone about that, and then still open up 100%. And give yourself to them. But then next thing you know, they ghost you, or you're not speaking to them again, or they don't keep your trust with whatever just happened, or you find out that they weren't honest about their situation, and it can be a pretty scary situation. So I find that I prefer to be more pulled back and let more honest people come towards me, and then I can vet them that way, rather than like jumping the gun towards people that are obviously just right on the front lines, because it can be kind of spooky. And for myself, being demisexual, I find that having such an eccentric like personality and like style, sometimes I find that people can grasp towards certain things that they prefer rather than others, and then they aren't even accepting you as a whole person. They're accepting the things, certain things about you that they like, and possibly the more feminine side of me or the more masculine side of me, and just that or just this. I'm this whole person.
Mr. Weenie has just interrupted our whole scene.
Mr. Weenie has entered the chat.
Yeah, Mr. Weenie has entered the chat. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No worries.
It's just gonna hear like meow, meow. So do you feel like you do not put yourself out there a lot because of it? an over-sexualized world?
I feel like I definitely used to and don't necessarily not now.
You're looking for that deeper connection, honey.
Most absolutely. I think that always happened since I was young, and I don't know why. I just am very in love with the concept of
and sometimes love. It's you know, sometimes you don't need to know why. You just have to embrace it and go with it.
So true.
And run with it and live it. No. Be about it. When was the first time that you felt comfortable or like had that one moment where you just realized that it was about the connection and this is who I am and felt confident coming out to your friends?
I would say probably my second trip to Costa Rica. The country is stunning beyond description. The fauna, the animals, the people, the hospitality is something else. The beaches.
Everybody gotta go to Costa Rica!
I was traveling for a month. I was on some dating apps and got in connection with this guy that I thought would be interesting to meet and hang out with and just see if we would connect. We were gonna go for dinner and then complications happened. He ended up going out of town. Thought maybe we'll meet up later on the vacation. I was in one place.
We're meant to meet. We're meant to meet.
No, literally. You know, it'll happen.
Yeah, the universe will bring us together.
We ended up being in the same town again while he was actually on a tour. So I got a hotel room in the same hotel that he was staying at and stayed there for 2 nights. The first day that we met, we just hung out, went by the pool, ate some food, got some of that good, went down to the beach, and it was a lovely day. We didn't really talk about too much, but we did get to know each other, of course. And then second day, I was excited to go hang out, go on a tour today. It was gonna be, I think, our second or last day hanging out, and it was another lovely day of just really connecting with someone, and both of us just opened up so much more than we had the first day, and just it was very on vacation, intense. After the second day, we went out for dinner, and I was just getting a mess. I was turning into a mess. I don't know why I was getting all sad. Yeah, literally. I was happy crying for sure, but it was just wow, I've never felt this good. I don't really know exactly what I'm feeling for you or how to explain it because it's literally been 48 hours. I better go lie down because I'm gonna have eye bags.
I'm gonna be in bed for 2 days, honey.
Truly, I don't know why, but it was just a lovely connection, and just after that, just being so happy and ecstatic about how well that went, and just meeting someone new and just having that connection with a guy for the first time to that level. I was just I got to tell my friends. I just feel I can talk to someone about this. And
was it your first time being with a guy too?
No, but it was definitely my first time having anything romantic.
Deep.
Yeah, definitely.
How did everybody react?
Everyone was very open to it, I would say, because I'm definitely in a good friend group with people that I can trust and knew that would be comfortable with me no matter who I am. Yeah. And was open arms, willing to accept me. They didn't really think anything different. Yeah. And if anything, sometimes you gotta know that the people closest to you, they know.
Yeah, 100%.
And you know what? Everybody's a little gay.
And it's the one more time.
Everybody's a little gay, don't you know?
Yeah, exactly. I really believe that. I'm just tell some of my friends that too. Little heteros, you're living in such a small life. You gotta experiment once in a while.
And I do say, you never know until you try.
Amen. You were so infatuated by this guy, and you created that deep connection with him to the point where when he left you after a couple of days, you were so upset. Do you think that because you're trying to create that deeper connection, you're more likely to experience extremes of heartbreak, almost a sense of loss, because you are focusing so heavily on the connection instead of the sex, whereas it can be very opposite.
I definitely can feel that sometimes, because I feel that when I meet somebody, I do want to connect with them more than just know them. But not too much. No, I definitely haven't really gotten to put myself out there that much in too many romantic situations. So I haven't really been through too much heartache, that's for sure. But a little bump here and there, but definitely nothing that's brought me down ever too much.
I hope that one day you can meet up with this guy again somewhere in the world.
Maybe, you never know.
Maybe back in Costa Rica when the world opens back up.
Truly, oh God.
You're I'm on the next flight to Costa Rica.
I am.
Let's talk about androgyny. How did you find that confident? Have you had to have any uncomfortable conversations with people? Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Jesse, for sharing your story, and thank you guys for tuning in. Next week, we're gonna explore androgyny with Jesse and how he finds his confidence in his self-expression. So you don't wanna miss it, all right? Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you next week. Ciao for now.